Can we expect more blood in the market, or could this actually be the bottom? Welcome to the video, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And don't forget, nothing on this video should be considered financial advice. It is strictly for entertainment and educational purposes only. Well, guys, it's been a crazy, crazy weekend. So we have all of the updated charts, all the data, and we're going to share our thoughts on what we think is going on currently and what we might expect going forward in our own opinions. I'd like to welcome Juan G. How are you doing today, sir?
Survival of the fittest. That's how I'm feeling right now. Survival of the fittest.
Yeah, survival is a great way to put it. We are definitely in survival mode. So let's get right to the charts, just so we can show everybody exactly what's going on with Bitcoin, and as well, we can also show gold, and you can talk a little bit about that one. So here we are, Bitcoin chart, 79,770 currently. As you can see, we did have a new lower low. We did get all the way down to 74,434 according to the TradingView chart. And as I'd mentioned, this is a new lower low on the chart. I did put another trend line here. It's not the trend lines we'd like to see, but it is a downtrend, as you can see. And then we do have this major level of support here, which has held up a couple of times now. We did wick below it, but we are currently above it now. So I guess we are kind of forming this this pennant a little bit. We'll have to wait and see how this plays out. But it was very unusual because yesterday, it's a weekend. A lot of times there's not a lot of volume on the crypto markets, especially on a Sunday afternoon. Usually that's reserved to Sunday evenings. But as I was mentioning to you, Juan, I was kind of looking at the charts earlier on Sunday. Everything looked hunky-dory. And then I got a bunch of notifications telling me that the market was basically dumping. And I took a look, and sure enough, Bitcoin was down about 5,000. And in that afternoon, it started out on the Sunday at 83,007, so close to 84,000. And it did go all the way down to 77,000 yesterday. And then today, the dump continued. Now, Bitcoin and the crypto market was not the only one that was hit by this. Obviously, the S&P and the Dow Jones, et cetera, they have had a bit of a rebound today. But this morning at open, it was fire in the streets, as they say. There was $2.1 trillion wiped out from the U.S. market at open this morning, which is nuts. And then $200 billion was liquidated from the cryptocurrency market just after open. So between 9 and 10 a.m., which is, some prices, some depending on what it is you were looking at, some of them actually had a lower correction or a dip or a crash, if you want to call it, lower than the C19, which is incredible because that was, one of the biggest black swan events that we've seen in our lifetime, at least in the last couple of decades. And some of them even went below those levels, which is unfathomable. So Juan, I'm sure you were watching the markets yesterday. What were you thinking when you saw these prices going down like crazy?
I had my barbecue ruined. That's what happened. I was just minding my business, barbecuing, and then I see my alerts just go off. That it started with XRP, and then I saw Doge, and then I'm like, okay, something got to be up. Then I just open my phone, look at Bitcoin, and I just see it this continuous drop. And again, like there was nothing going on, nothing new. It was just spontaneous combustion of events, or sell-offs, should I say? Completely caught off guard. And all I can say is, in my eyes, I'm thinking, okay, where can I make money? I mean, that's what I'm thinking. And of course, this morning, markets open, shorts galore, right? I mean, you can't just say, I'm just going to lose my shirt here, right? You got to take advantage of all markets. And it's not the market I want, but it's the market I have.
Yeah, good point. I was kind of thinking the same thing. Right away, your first instinct is, oh my God, what the heck is happening? You look for news, you look for whatever could be causing it. And then your next frame of mind is, okay, well, how can I take advantage of this market? Throw the shorts in. And if you did that, well, for example, in the last 24 hours is $1.35 billion liquidated from the crypto market. from yesterday afternoon till this afternoon. So you see the stock market futures and everything. You kind of have an idea by what they're doing as to what the crypto market was going to do when the market opened, and of course the regular stock market as well. We have the gold chart up, and I know you follow gold closely. It's one of your favorites to trade. And what are you seeing in the gold chart?
Gold did what gold had to do, came to the rescue, right? It sold off to really support the other markets, right? You see these small rebounds we saw throughout the day. And gold just had to sell off in order to kind of protect the market. You'll start seeing a rebound towards the end of the day, and probably into tonight, and maybe into tomorrow. But to be honest with you, I wouldn't want to trade until I see basic indicators start lighting up. Right, like if you look at gold,
clear direction.
Right. Like you look at gold, and gold there was no reason for this level of a dump to happen, but because of the markets, right, you had to get money from somewhere, right? You can't just sit on a possible one of the biggest drop offs in history if it wasn't for a sell off kind of to recover. If gold didn't sell off, things would look pretty bad right now, for at least for the U.S. markets. So, again, right, I think the sellers had a clear indication of how low they wanted to go, and it hit that trend line perfectly. We discussed it earlier, and now it's. I think it's the EMA, right? I apologize. It's the EMA.
Yeah.
And then I think that EMA will hold. I just don't see. Gold has been in such a great spot. I don't see it dipping below 2,900. I think the EMA is a great indicator of where it's going to go for the next maybe for the week, but don't expect big bullish moves unless the orange man says something, right? And there's only two things he can say right now. He's either going to say, "Awesome job by my departments, and we solved the China crisis and tariffs, and all of a sudden everything's going to be great," or "Oh, tariffs are more tariffs are going to be announced, and things are just going to get worse." So that's the only two things, right? Right now, everybody's leaning on tariffs, but I think if you agree with me, right, I think tariffs have nothing to do with what happened with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is 100% supporting whatever Trump wants to do, because Trump is doing two great things for Bitcoin right now, which is creating a great foundation for it, right? So that way it could be regulated appropriately and be successful. And I don't know if you heard, but he kind of mentioned that, at least in the US, that it's on track for not having capital gains tax by the end of the year.
Right.
So again, two great news that should have bolstered the market, at least Bitcoin, right? At least trades, right? Capital gains. And this is the result of what we're seeing. So again, I think we're in a position. I just think that I just wouldn't want to trade anything right now.
No, it's too uncertain. And you know what? I think another part of this, major market crash, both in crypto and TradFi, has a lot to do with people not understanding the tariffs, not understanding exactly what this all means. Do you think that's a fair statement?
I think understanding plays a huge role, and I think it really comes down to the government kind of explaining it, right? And let's just be honest, when he ran on his platform, a lot of people really couldn't say or dictate his policies correctly, right? Because he wasn't really, he just said it's just going to happen, right? Now he's kind of saying you're going to have to go through a little pain to get to the end of the road, right? That literally his quote. But at the end of the day, though, right, it's his job and his team's job to kind of really break it down for us layman's people, so we can say, okay, we knew this is going to be expected. Let's lay off some heavy trades so that way we can expect to prosper down the road, right? Hopefully you guys are not in panic mode and more in cautionary mode. I think that's the best way to kind of say it. Just look at your portfolios, look at what's worth holding on to, what's not worth holding on to. Don't make decisions on what you think might happen tomorrow, think might happen a week from now. Just make sure that if you're comfortable losing, $5, $10, $100, $2,000, whatever the case may be, that you're comfortable losing it, right?
Right.
Don't make it as a panic, and I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, you know what? I couldn't agree more. People have to make sure. We always tell our audience and our listeners that you got to have a plan, right? Make sure you know how much it is you're willing to lose just in case anything happens. Have a good DCA policy procedure, I should say, and then of course, as the bull market winds to an end, which we still believe that's not happened yet, we're just kind of in a quote unquote black swan event, if you will, but still have a plan to exit the market. Uh, the best thing you can do is if you have a plan and you kind of are prepared for whatever possibilities that may occur, you're going to be a lot better off in your mindset in this market. And days like today, yeah, you'll be like kind of saying to yourself, what is going on? But in the grand scheme of things, you won't be freaking out. You won't be stressed out because you planned for this. And so, yeah, that's a great point there, Juan. So I also wanted to
100%.
show the, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was agreeing you 100%. You make 100. The way you framed it is exactly what I meant, right? Like just being prepared and looking forward towards your next moves and just knowing that, hey, that happens, great, I'm good. If it doesn't happen, it goes my direction, even better.
Exactly. And also for the record, the S&P 500 has officially entered bear market territory. But if this is kind of the price action like we had back in C19, hopefully we get that quick recovery. And I think as more people understand that, yeah, the way the administration is going about it isn't necessarily the best. You know, a lot of people right now are in the mindset of Orange Man bad, but once people understand tariffs, understand why he's doing this, and the down the road effect, I think people might be a little bit more at ease as to exactly the whole tariff situation. So, okay, moving on. We'll move on to a couple of data charts real quick. Here is the ETF inflow outflow. I'll give this a refresh, and we were showing that we were up. Last week we had quite a few green days in a row, but then we ended the week with a few red days. Today hasn't been calculated yet, obviously, but we did have this nice one inflow day, 218 million, and then three smaller Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, smaller days of outflows. But obviously that had nothing to do with what's going on lately. But it's good to see that there is still money flowing into the ETFs. And then finally, not that we really need to show this one, I'm going to give this a refresh because we're clearly nowhere near the top of this market, as you can tell. According to this, we're at a 63. So, everything's great across the board there. If this is indeed a double top and this is our bull market, this is one of the most pathetic bull markets that we've ever seen. So I'm going to continue to believe that it is not. So that's basically all we had to mention to talk about today. We wanted to let everyone know that it may seem terrible right now, and it is, but there's a lot of things that could come from this because the markets are down so much. This could force the hand of the Fed to drop its interest rates, which of course interest rates going lower is good for everybody. And then of course money printing. The global money supply has been going up, continues to go up, and the 90-day lag or there and abouts for the Bitcoin price tells us that anytime now we should start going up. Of course, days like today, it puts a temporary pause on that, but I still believe that is coming. And then as money printing begins or it intensifies in China, and then if it begins here in the U.S. or down in the U.S. and up here in Canada, I think that'll only be good for the entire market. So, Juan, final thoughts before we let the viewers go.
Yeah, these are unprecedented times, right? Anytime anyone does something that's just, again, and I said this before in our last stream, that's unprecedented, people are either going to like it or people are going to be afraid. And right now, people are just, when you don't understand, people tend to be afraid right now. And it's normal, right? This type of action and price action is normal for things that you don't understand, right? Is there a plan? Yes, there is a plan. And if you guys want us to kind of go over it, hey, comment, subscribe, let us know. And maybe we can talk about it on a stream, ask questions, join us. And we'll definitely be, more than happy to kind of share what we know, what's happening. But at the end of the day, hold on to your hats. This is going to be a roller coaster of a ride. And if you look at most charts, right, like, let's just be honest, we broke our all-time high and I think it was like 60 something from the time before. We touched 75, and sometimes price does go back and touch. And to me, this is one of those things that just kind of let me touch base, and let's hopefully we get a rebound from here. And I do believe that the bull market isn't over. It's not going to be as strong as I think we also saw. I think people were thinking, hitting on 150,000, 200,000, but I think that we'll probably see a good 120, 125 this year, and as long as everything starts to rebound, right? I mean, there's just the economy, just people start understanding that the moves that were done were necessary, and we'll get the results that we need to get.
Well said. Yeah, and people have to realize that we still are in a bullish structure. So don't get us wrong. According to the Bitcoin chart, we still are in a bullish structure. We still are in a long-term uptrend. And don't forget, I mean, this as quickly as this whole tariff situation came into play, it could be just as quickly gone in the next couple of days. Deals could be made, and boom, that's it. The narrative is done. Everyone's moved on, and the Bitcoin price continues to shoot up. That could happen. Anything's possible, but until the bullish structure on the Bitcoin chart changes, we still firmly believe that we are in a bull market, and this is just kind of a black swan event in the middle of a bull market. And if anyone remembers, if you're in crypto back in 2020, when C19 hit, the Bitcoin chart was in the middle of an uptrend. It took that massive nosedive, but then look where it ended up. It went all the way up to 69,000. So it could happen again. Your areas of about 120, 125. Yeah, I'm in agreement with that. I think a little bit more, simply because I think this bull market has been extended and the cycles are slightly changed, especially now with everything that's happened recently. I'm thinking more, mid 100, so 150-ish. But either way, I think it's going to return. We're going to get a new all-time high. Things are going to be rosy. Views on YouTube are going to go up, and everything's going to be sunshines and rainbows. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Please like the video. And I appreciate you, Juan, for joining me. And we will talk to everyone on Thursday on our live stream, 7 p.m. Eastern. Don't forget to set your notification bell as well if you want to be notified of videos and the live stream. Thanks again, Juan.
Thanks for having me. Hope to see most of you guys next week. This Thursday.
Okay. Take care, guys. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Take care.